So students, welcome to this new class, and today we are starting module 2. In this module we will discuss various methods for optimization. Actually, after module 2 means in module 1 there was introduction to optimization, and there were some conditions etc. that you studied, and after then in module 2, 3, 4 and 5 there are methods. Methods will be discussed to optimize a function. So in this module 2 we are starting with this topic, and I will now concentrate on this, that first method, that is the, you can say, classical method of optimization. It is the analytical method of optimization, and you are already aware of that. So this is actually analytical method. Classical method means from the old time people are using it. And number second is approach is that is numerical method. In which certain algorithms are followed, and electronics tools can be used in that, and in the modern time various softwares are available for that. So as far as this analytical method is concerned, you already know about this, so I am just giving you again, like what you do. For example, some function is this, then first step is that you differentiate it, and after then you will make it equal to 0. You get a stationary point, and after then what you do, again you double differentiate this function at this point, and you see whether it is positive or negative. Based on this you decide whether the function is having minimum or maximum value. So this is the analytical approach, and this approach has got limitations. If it is a fx is a simple has simple expression, you can apply analytical method. Means this is a kind of simple function, and very easily you can find its differentiation, and then you can double differentiate it. That's very simple. So in all these functions you can apply this method, and it gives you exact result. But if this function is very complex, what you will do? If suppose the function is like this, under root x 0.2 minus 1 over x. If a function is like this, then it will become very complex to find its derivative, and many times derivative cannot be found with the help of formula. So there you will apply the numerical method. Numerical methods are just some steps and very simple, you can say, logics are applied, not mathematical logics are applied here. Just plus and minus kind of things are done, so that it can be a program can be made, and that can be applied to a computer software. And then software, because software is doing nothing but actually it's calculating, adding and subtracting speed is very high, so we use this quality of computer in these methods. But basically these methods are don't use mathematics like this. A very simple algorithm is used in this, but actually it is repetitive. Even 1000 times and 10,000 times you have to repeat it. So okay, after this introduction we will not be taking this approach here, because already we know about this. We will take this approach, numerical methods of optimization here. So these methods will be our topic of discussion in all these modules. First comes there are types of numerical methods. First comes direct search method. Number two type of this method is gradient based methods. All these are numerical methods. In direct search method, no mathematics is done, like finding derivatives, etc. Only the objective function values are used to guide the search process. And in gradient based methods, derivative information are used to guide the search process. So we will start with the direct search method. Let's see what it is. So direct search methods, what we do in these methods is that we make direct search. So you will be asking, what is this direct search? In what we do here is that, suppose this is your function. Suppose your function is like this, this is your function fx, and fx value is here and x is here. So this is the trend. So what we do here, that we don't know this minimum point here is, we don't know about this point here. So what we do, that we start, suppose let's say we start from 0, then we go to point x here, 2, 3, like this. So we will see that here we will see what is the value here, and then after that at 2 we will see what is the value here, and 3 what is the value here. This way we search for the minimum value. So this is actually just very basic introduction to this direct search methods. Now again there are many in this method there are many ways you can do this direct search. So first way is bracketing method. We will be discussing this in very detail actually. Bracketing methods, it is actually a direct search method. And now we will discuss this method. What is this bracketing method? In this method, what we do is that we do the search in two phases. Phase 1 is just to find in which bracket the minimum or maximum is lying. So you can see it this way. For simplicity, we are taking a function of univariable function, only one variable is there. So suppose you have got some function fx that you have to get the minimum value of. This function can be any function, like for example it can be like this, 1 plus x square, this way. So you have to find its minimum value, and you don't know what is the plot of this function. It can be anything. So first what you do in this phase 1, you take some approximate method. Means you don't want to find the minima at the exact x value, just you want to find where is that minimum lying, like this. For example, the minimum of the function is lying between these two phases, and there the function is going, suppose like this. So here what we are doing, that we are not finding this thing. This is actually x, this the stationary point at the minimum, but actually we are applying some approximate method. There are many methods like this, we will see it later. So what this approximate method will do, that it will find this limit. This limit, suppose it is suppose for example it is 5, and it is, suppose you can say 10. So now you are sure that your minimum is lying between 5, x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 10. So this is the aim of this phase 1, that you have to find the limit. Your minimum is lying between these 2 points. After then in phase 2, what you do, after you have got the limit, what do you do that now you are using a sophisticated method. You are using a sophisticated method. There are many numerical methods are available for this. So it is like this. Sophisticated technique is used to find the exact this value, and you will do it within the limit a and b, because if you will not find the bracket, this is called actually bracket, then you will just waste your resources, because this very highly precise technique will have to search everywhere, here, where is the point. So what you do that you reduce its search limit to this, because now you know that your minimum is lying between these points. So this is the basis for bracketing methods. Now we are going to see how many classifications are there. One by one we will take. So in this method we will study in detail exhaustive search method and bounding phase method. So first we are going to take exhaustive search method. So basically in this class we will concentrate upon exhaustive search method. So this is the information about this method. The simplest of all search methods. The optimum of a function is bracketed. The optimum of a function is bracketed by calculating the function values at equally spaced points. So instead of seeing the theory, I would like to have a numerical example so that you can understand it much more better way. So we are taking an example, and the example says minimize the function. The function is x square plus 54 by x, and you have to find its minimum value in the interval 0 to 5. So we will do it with exhaustive search method. So as you, I would just plot this. So this is the scene, and we don't know what is the behavior of function here. It's very, it can be like this, or it can be like this, or like this. We don't know about this. Only thing that we see here is that we have been given this bracket 0 to 5. In between you have to find whether there is some minimum value of this function is not. So first in this method what we do, that we divide our bracket is this, we divide this bracket into equally spaced areas or points. As you can see here that already because of this scale, this space has been divided into 5 parts, but we would like to divide it into 10 parts. It depends upon your depends upon you. If you can divide it any parts. So suppose let's division of I take 10, you can take 50 or 100 to improve the accuracy of this thing. And after then what we will do, first divide the space, or I can show you this way also, because you may be thinking that space is already divided, but no, I did it myself actually. So it is given to you like this. So you have to divide it. You can divide it into 5 spaces, or you can divide it 10 spaces or 50 spaces. I am choosing n is equal to 10. So if you are doing this, then your ticks will come like this. this way. So what is the value of this? What is the value of this? For to find out that value, what we do, we apply this formula. Delta x is the interval, this interval, b minus a by number of this. B is the upper limit and a is the lower limit. So 5 minus 0 over 10. So one space, you can say that 0.5 units. So this is your 0.5, this is 1, this is 1.5, this is 2, so on. So the first step is divide the bracket into small parts, and now the second step is that you take first 3 points. This we will choose first 3 points. This we will call x1 or 1, 2, 3 points, x1, x2 and x3. x1 is 0, 1.0. So I have written here this at first step is divide and then choose starting points, and after then compute the values at the selected points like this, these points. So if you will find the values of these, so you will 0 and you put this 0 in this function, that is x square plus 54 by x square plus 54 by x. So it will be giving you infinite, and then second point is this 0.5. If you will put in this function, you will get you can compute it this, and the third point will give you the value 55.0. So now you can see in the graph 108 infinite. So here it is some at infinite, and at 1 it is coming here something like this 108.25, and after that at 1 it is coming to be 55. Just very approximately I am. So these are the points coming. So you can see in this bracket a trend is coming to be the downward. Now what do you do? Next iteration, first iteration is done, all the values calculated, and also you saw that here fx1 is greater than fx2 is greater than fx3. Now in the next iteration, set next bracket. You will take the bracket. Now this you took this, and after then now what you will do is you will shift this to this way. So as you can see, this highlighted bracket, so it is starting from 0.5 and ending at 1.5. so now your points have come to be 0.5, again do the same thing, find functions values at these points. And if you will calculate them, you will find 38.25. It is already calculated here. So again you can see that f1 is greater than f2 is greater than f3. So you can represent the functions this way also, if you don't want to show it this way because it is complicated. It is better way. So whenever this kind of trend is coming, you will continue doing your iteration. So what is here, that at this point you are getting 38. Now what you will do, you will now shift your bracket to the next point like this. This way you can see that now we have jumped from this to here. We were here, and then now the first point is shifted to here, so the bracket has come up to this. So again we will do the same thing, and if you will do here also in the next iteration, you will find that the same trend is there also. 1, same trend will follow here also. You need to calculate it. You will see this the same trend is following here also. You will see this kind of trend. So keep on doing this, keep on iterating. Until you break this trend. So finally, if you will come to this bracket 2.5, you need to do it actually. I am not showing all the calculations here. So where are these points? If you will see in here, you will see that this bracket is 2.5 here. This the bracket is from 2.5 to 3.5. When you come to this bracket, means up to now you will see that the trend is going like this, but when you come to this point, you will see the values here. You will see, yes, you can represent the values of function this way: 27.85, 27.0 and 27.68. so what you see here, the trend is F1 is greater than F2, but F2 is less than F3. So this trend is coming here now. So if you will come here, you will find that this is like this and this is like this. So this kind of change will come in function this way and this. So now you can say that this is the minimum point. At this is actually not the minimum point, but because you are just approximately saying that, though, so you can guess that the solution, you have to break it actually. The solution is between 2.5 and 3.5. So this is your 2.5 and this is your 3.5. so your function is going like this. So but we have not found the exact this point. Actually we are saying that our solution is between these 2 points. Now what you can do, that again you can break these parts into 10 parts. Again apply the same technique, find the bracket, you will find this bracket, and again you break this part. So this way you can reduce your accuracy, or you can say that your solution will become more accurate if you will divide it into more part after that. So students, you can appreciate this method, and what is the basic concept of this method. I hope that you have understood. If you have any problem to understand this problem, you can discuss with me, and these kind of numericals will be asked in the examination, so you should do this numerical in a good way, So thank you very much students for this class.